Good morning, or should I say, Zhao Shanghao, because I'm actually in China. Not that it really matters, given the state of this channel and how I've kind of abandoned it, but I've never actually truly abandoned it. You've seen me lurk a bit. But anyway, hey, here we are in China, and I feel this is a good time to get back into making a video because this is something new. It's still gaming, but it's still something fresh and new. You know, a lot of my stuff has been console based, what I would call my prime back in 2010, Smash Brothers, Call of Duty and whatnot. But I think this project was really cool. Me actually learning how to build a PC from scratch is a big deal. And I think being in China, being able to pull off a build that I will show you through the process of this video, probably couldn't be easier given the ease of Taobao and just the amount of affordable parts and stuff here. So let's just get into the vid. So given that I basically never opened up a PC, let alone built one, I thought let's order one first to learn. After some deliberation, I picked out this one for 660 RMB. It's an AMD Athlon 2 631 at 2.6 gigahertz with a GTS 450, 512 megabytes, 8 gigabytes of DDR3, and 120 gigabyte SSD.
What is it? It's like 8:40. My throat's like kind of rough. Lol. Was it Thursday, the 1st of November? Had some tools, bunch of stuff. So we got Ethernet cable, power cable, and I just got the drive stick that's containing Windows 10. And of course we have the box, which is slightly damaged, which is a bit like lol, but also, yeah. Look, I expect it to be a bit cleaner than this, and obviously the picture in the thing is different, but there's a box and it has the stuff in it, so alright, so certain things are a bit weird. This is clearly upside down. This is the top, this is the bottom. CPU's in a good place. This is the SSD. It's glued on. The SSD is glued, fixated onto the bottom of the case.
So this is what I had to start with. Relatively dusty PC, but it ran, it worked, everything was glued down. You can see the SSD is glued down, but so was the RAM, so was the graphics card. Basically everything was just fixated onto the board itself. Safe, but frustrating. Got the boot drive. Getting Windows 10 set up. Things are weird. I screwed it on really wonky. I'm still a little bit pissed off that everything's glued down, but we're gonna get Windows 10. That's all that matters. Enter product key. Fuck. So I did find a product key in the end. Not that it really matters with Windows 10. And then obviously purchased mouse and a keyboard and stuff. Here I am playing League of Legends on 60 frames per second, pretty clean on high settings. So let's set a good benchmark to try and beat. It's fucking adorable. I haven't opened it yet. It's fucking adorable. I don't believe it. So naturally I went on to progress and order RAM and a motherboard, which is where I will point out key mistakes. The first one, just ordering any motherboard that looked decent and affordable. It was brand new, it was shiny, it had the new brand new smell, but that's completely meaningless if you order the wrong chip, which I did. I did not only order the wrong AMD chip, I didn't only order an Intel chip, I ordered an Intel Xeon chip, which I found out was pre-modded to be compatible with other Intel motherboards. But that's another video, and you can probably find information about that. Anyway, key mistake number one, ordered an Intel chip. Key mistake number two, I was shopping at 2 a.m. and therefore ordered laptop RAM instead of desktop RAM. Which is cool because I did upgrade my laptop, but also, that's technically wasted money. So at least I'm glad that the waste is only in the couple hundreds of RMB rather than a couple thousands of RMB that could have occurred if I say ordered a, B450 motherboard and then went for an i7 8700K or some nonsense like that. So learning. As this is a gaming channel, I say let's play the game of spot the errors. Let's see how many you can find.
So with the purchase of this Athlon 240, I got a cheap graphics card. It's supposed to be a 9600, I think. Everything should be hooked up. Power cables. There's my 128 Quai Seasonic 520. What's that? £14. And then this weird adapter thing came for the DVI because this graphics card doesn't have VGA, let alone HDMI, as I hoped it would. But here we are. If that all fucks up, we've got a VGA in the motherboard, obviously. Moment of truth. We're gonna press the power button. And I forgot to turn it back. Okay, moment of truth. We're gonna press the power button. So the power's on. We knew that. We knew it did that. We knew it did that. If it fucking posts, I'm going to lose my shit. It's as simple as that. So we knew the power's on. We've got the power. I can connect to circuit. But I think it may have something to do with the graphics card that isn't enabled. But you can see the graphics card is spinning. I want to see how hot this gets. Remember, no thermal paste, no nothing. I want to see how hot the Athlon gets. And it's not absolute dog shit yet. I hope.
So as you can see, I had a relatively cute but not actually functional in any manner CPU there. Of course, like I pointed out, the Seasonic power supply was a waste. We got some pretty lights though, so that's a start. Hopefully we can improve the rest. So here we have the final frontier. I got myself an actual researched CPU cooler. Actually, people recommended this, and given my price range, it was good enough. This was 60 Quai. There's an SSD from Onkey. Obviously, SSD isn't the most, pressure bound, element. It's just 320 gigs, 320, 360, 360 gigs. But yeah, whatever. Controller, so I can, try out pairs properly. You got the speaker, because speakers, yeah. And here it is, the final piece. An AMD Phenom 955, if it focuses, from 2008. If you can see that. Yeah, 2008. So, it should be fun. Luckily, the one advantage of getting the Xeon is that it doesn't come completely to waste. It came with this thermal paste that I would just apply to the CPU here, So savings, yeah. All right. Oh, CPU power is over 95 watts. System will turn off after 10 seconds. CPU power is over 95 fucking watts. Therefore, it's gonna turn off because the CPU power is over 95 watts. So I'll show you the post. Everything clearly works, but it's too much for the motherboard. Isn't that wonderful? Okie dokie. So right as it was loading up the whole Windows 10 thingamajig, I just discovered overclock settings. For anyone who needs help with this, cool and quiet disabled. I don't know what that means. None of this matters really. What we're looking for is obviously CPU power limit control. We disable that. So it shouldn't turn off when power is over 95 watts. If you want, we can fuck about and whatever. I've never overclocked before because I've never built before. So we'll just leave this as it is. Save and exit is F10. Sim salabim. Boop. Okay, so we're finally here. I'm not even fully hooked it up. I slapped it in. It works. It runs. Hooray. Whoop-de-fucking-do. We did it. I already installed a bunch of crap anyway. Let's hope it doesn't fucking panic and nothing bad happens, but it's pretty cool because it is a better processor, so it shouldn't even overheat that much. I want to see what it can run on like Tomb Raider and shit. But yeah, I can now close the case. Fucking finally. Before we get into the benchmarks, I just want to point out that I got a 600 watt power supply plus a 1050 Ti. Luckily, I got it for a really cheap price from my coworker for 400 RMB, which is literally a steal. Here we have Tomb Raider on Ultra. This is 2013, not Shadow of the Tomb Raider or anything. But for a CPU from 2008, the GPU is going to do quite a lot of heavy lifting, but I can still get relatively clean above 50 FPS on Ultra settings. You can see the little hair flick, which is pretty exciting, to be honest. Generally, I'm just very happy that at the very least I can play all the games I wanted to about 5 years ago, like Tomb Raider that I did buy for like £2.50 on a Steam sale. So I believe with the amount of money I spent, I did definitely achieve these goals. I mean, this is Ultra settings. If I get to medium, I think it slaps past 85 FPS, but I wanted to see the highest around. So there you see the confirmation. Next game is Pro Evolution Soccer 2018. Interestingly enough, this is the first game after a series of years that Konami actually decided to up the requirements. This is 60 FPS or attempting 60 FPS. I believe it did average basically 60. It would have got higher, but it does cap just for the safety, I guess. So I can't even give you the exact settings, but you see it's clearly playable and it works. It's one of the key goals to have something like a football game run really clean without any issues at all, really. The next game I'm a lot more excited about, which is Wolfenstein: The New Order. Obviously, this would have been the most demanding game I'm going to have in this video, and the last one. Shooter from 2014, definitely optimized for and only for later consoles. So I just wanted to see how well it run here. You can see it's flickering between 60 and 61. I believe obviously Wolfenstein will just kind of cap it towards 60, which is completely fine with me. I'm not really expecting more than 60 FPS with a CPU like this, although I believe the GPU, if paired with say one of the Ryzen chips, even a 1500 or whatever, could surely push into like 80s or maybe triple digits if I decide to spend some fucking money. I'm still quite excited just to see the fact that I can actually run relatively modern games on a CPU 8 years old, which says a lot about my next purchases. Generally this idea that one can do all this on something as old as this and spending as little as I did, I can run vaguely modern games. There is definitely one catch though. I did try to run Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I didn't know it needed the AVX instruction, so it's just a sign that I'm still learning little things to look out for when you build a PC, especially if you're going for a slightly older build and you want to be a bit cheap and you don't mind going medium with 50 FPS. Is that you have to remember certain little features that just don't exist. So in some senses it might be better to get a cheaper modern CPU, in the same way it might be better to get say a cheaper modern phone than get like a really good but old CPU model. But here you can see when I did the shooting on this compared to the 240, the 240 dragged the frame rate down to about 25. But here it's still very solid. You can see a lot of chaos going on right now with the shooting, and it's still holding a very solid 60 frames, which was just exciting, to be honest. Yeah, nice to see this. Nice to see that everything works. I can actually build a PC. Looking at the core build, we have, you know, everything laid out here for quite an affordable price. Obviously, you have to put the asterisks on the power supply and the 1050 Ti, which will knock up the price by about 700 Kwai. I worked out of a relatively good cost of £142.50, give or take. Once you add in all the extras and the essentials like the keyboard and the monitor, you get a grand total of 1,575 RMB, or about £180. Very exciting to see the build. As you can see, looks pretty cute aesthetically. I wanted to get the color scheme going. I went for obviously a very hard red, you know, so it's just quite exciting to see this and actually realize a fully made build, to be honest. Yeah, nothing left to say, but thank you for watching and laughing with me and at me, and good night.